Right ladies, what you can see here is the bottom of my Bergen, and I made myself a little drawstring bag for the old tarp. I had a little bit of material left over, so that's the equivalent of a 3x3 in there. What I did do was just sewed a bit of 25mm webbing so it can attach to, you know, this one's got straps at the bottom of the Bergen, but if you imagine that was the top of the Bergen, that was the bottom, any two with side straps on it, and a lot of the Bergens have them, you can just attach this to, and it just it's very, very simple to do, and there's no reason why you wouldn't want to do it. But that's where I'll carry the tarp over. Like I said, I've done a couple of little bits to it either side, using up a bit of spare material. There we go, ladies and gents, and obviously make the bag a bit bigger than it needs to be because it can just fold up very, very small. But why don't they all do that? So you can get your tarp bag on the side, or as you can see here, on the bottom. Right, ladies and gents, here's my ridge line. It's got a peg to attach it to the first tree, and underneath there two little pegs that I made myself, already on there, wrapped up inside, that do for me press-up knots, and it's all ready to go. Now I always carry one in me, like my shelter kit, but I always have this in my bottom right hand pocket, always ready to go, so no matter what happens, I've always got one with me. You can never have enough paracord anyway, ladies and gents. Simple. And as we see, ridge line up, no dramas, not teaching anybody to suck eggs, but that's what I like to do, always kind of done, just keep a couple of toggles there, press a knot for that side of the top, press a knot there, ready to go for that side of the top, aids in getting it up quickly, especially if it's raining, and normally I have at least one of them, just so I can hang a torch, so that would be like on the inside of my basher. I always put a basher or tarp over the ridge line, not under it. Anyway, there you go. Little toggles I made up while I'm watching YouTube films and stuff like that. I've got a couple of little ridge lines made up like that. Always have one in my pocket. Always. Right, ladies and gents, hopefully the wind won't be affecting this too much. We've got some inclement weather here, but we're, you know, we're rugged ruffians and we wear big boots, so I crack on. As we'll see here, tarp's up in its simplest configuration. Ridge line, 2 press-up knots, 6 10 pegs. 10 pegs you could have made yourself. Like I say, it's 3 metres by nearly 3 metres, but it has the ability, if you've been watching my films, you see roughly about there, that can drop down vertically, so you just makes it more comfortable, more livable in there. But that's the simplest setup. Guidelines from 3 points and move that in, and they'll drop vertically. You've seen it like that. I'll put a link, if you just come across this film and you want to see the history, I'll put a link to the other film in there. But I want to get this set up in another configuration as well, ladies and gents. But yeah, I'm just gonna, there is a little bit, see this bit here, you can see the angle now. I'll bring you into 90-degree angle on that so you can have a look, because that's the only modification I've done, because I want to keep it very, very simple. My only design criteria on this is give myself more variations on the setups and keep it as light as possible, and at the moment that's weighing exactly the same as a military, you know, British Army basher tarp. Right, ladies and gents, here we see the other side's exactly the same. I had a piece of material literally that much wide and 3 metres long left over. So what I decided to do is just to do an angle there. If needed, that could be brought down to sort of roughly cover. It's snowing here as well, the weather's really turning in, so I'm trying to be as quick as possible. But ladies and gents, that's the bit where you kneel down and get in and so forth, so I've just done like a, I'll call it a fanny flap at the side, on both sides, but what it actually does, will give you increased protection from wind and horizontal rain coming in, like from the north. And on both sides, doesn't add a great deal to the shelter, just makes it, yeah, you're going to give us a little bit more coverage, bearing in mind your Bergen's going to be about there, your head there, and then your feet down that way. Don't stick your wood or anything under there, it'll just give it a little bit more coverage from the rain. Like I say, that will spread out as I bring that out and that as well, ladies and gents. So I think that's the best use of that little spare bit of material. Like I say, I made myself a bag, and it's kind of mostly used up all of the material. So that's the only thing I've done to the tarp from the first time that I brought it out to test it out, and I'm happy with that. I don't, just, you know, keep it simple, keep it stupid, and it will work. Like I say, nice little lightweight thing, 6-10 pegs, 1 guy line, I always keep that in my pocket, set up, ready to go, job done. What I will do now, I want to see if I can get this up in like a baker style tent type of setup, and I'm just going to do that now, ladies and gents. Well, ladies and gents, hopefully the wind's just not taking me voice. Very windy now, sunny and snowy and windy at the same time. Back of the shelter, loving the old camouflage, very mute. It doesn't stand out too much on bold colours, but you see there a long strip along there that drops down almost vertically, so it gives you so much more headroom underneath that. I can have it coming down at the one angle, which I have done previously, but all I've done is on that tie-out point and that one, and there's a tie-out point in the middle which that doesn't need it. Literally that will come down on the ridge line and then drop vertically, lifts the whole shelter up so much more, it's unreal. And yeah, proper happy with that. I'll take you around the front and show it. Very, very big shelter. I mean, that's at least 3 metres by, you know, 3 metres really, with the little end bits at the side, and I'll just adjust my camera and bring it back. But that's the idea on sewing that bit on there. It will drop down vertically with a lot of ease, and there's tie-out points along that and tie-out points along the bottom, so I'll drop that vertically, and then that goes up to the ridge line and the rest goes over. Gives you so much more room, headroom inside. Well, ladies and gents, as I said before, here we can see it now, there's that triangular piece of material. It was only literally that wide and long, so I just tidied it up onto there. It makes a big difference on it, and especially if you wanted to do, I'm not a hammock camper myself, but you know, that would cover your ridge lines and your you know, your hanging straps and so forth. But that's what I use the extra bit of material for. You can probably see it in its entirety there. It's long, but only comes out as wide as the material. Very happy with that though, very happy with that. Well, as we see it side on, just to show you that effect, this comes down at that angle and then literally drops down almost vertically. The wind's is coming in from this direction, and it's filling up the you know, the canopy and that there, but that's fine. But as opposed to just having one angle going down, with the 2 tie-out points that drop vertically, it gives you so much more headroom under there without having to put a, you know, like a tie-out point in the middle there and having one going up, which some of the tarps do. There's always a danger of leakage there. That's one solid bit of material that will keep me dry. The only ridge lines or seam things are there, ladies and gents. So, you know, yeah, that's working baker tent style for me. I'll be happy enough under there every day of the week, twice on a Sunday. I'll bring you around and show it from the other angle. Right, obviously, ladies and gents, for stealth, this way, the inside of this material is black as you see it. When it's down tight to the ground, it doesn't allow a light to come through, apart from obviously the open ends. But if you want to be a bit stealthy or covert, job done. The only other thing I'll say with this is, gosh, you can see the angles again. It's coming across nicely. It's coming down at an angle, and then that bit, although it's not showing up well on the camera, that bit there, and that's almost dropping vertically. Just lifts the whole thing up and pulls it away from your head under there. Right, so any other thing we'll do with it? Blue Peter style, I have one prepared. Just make it a little bit more livable, using the little tie-out point there. It's only a bit of paracord. That's all it needs. Just set in. And as we see, ladies and gents, boom. You know, this gives you some working day room. Just to show you how long it is. And I'll tell you what, normally that would come straight down and I'd already be hitting that. Got your eyes for your guide. You know, you've got your Bergen there and that. Mr. Baldrick's coming to the approves. Very, very livable shelter. This is how I see it set up in the day. Obviously, you've already seen it when it's angled down like a tarp. But in inclement weather, don't lick your face, don't lick your face. And one other configuration I'm going to try and, what I will put it on, is very, very low to the ground and very stealthy, but still remaining that, keeping the wind and the rain off you as much as possible. bearing in mind I'd always come in from this end because my pack would be here, my head would be here, I'll sleep on my left side, and in and out that way. So your pack is going to perform as a windbreak there, no rain is going to come through. I mean, there's almost a metre here and about 50, half a metre the other side of my feet, so plenty of coverage on this. So nice one. What I'll do is I'll shut up now, and probably the wind's taking my voice anyway, and get it put down in what I think was, you know, a low down stealth mode. Give me that stick. Right, ladies and gents, so yeah, there you go, let your eyes be your guide. Just a slight variation on the tarp that I've made myself, so it ain't cost me a lot of dollar. Unique camouflage, you can't get that anywhere, and doesn't weigh much more, or virtually the same as the industry standard British Army basher or tarp, because they ain't got all the metal bits on it, which weigh a lot. Boom, there we go, boom. And I can roll up to here, and I'm still covered. Yeah, the rain looks on it. Like I say, if you keep these little things in the ridge line, that's where I'd stick my light. Just have a little press it knot. Makes a light clip. Right, ladies and gents, boom, I'll set it up in the lower configuration and I'll bring you back. There you go, I'm getting old little. Right, ladies and gents, here we see, you know, that big old tarp, that old baker tent, the one that dropped down the sides, loads of room underneath, will instantly convert into a very covert shelter. Very infantry this will be known as the infantry style, you know, no higher than knee high. That's a little, but all I've really done there, ladies and gents, drop my ridge line, it's exactly the same, 3 tent pegs, there, and the bit that dropped down vertically, i.e. this part, if Mr. Baldrick gets out of the way, I'll actually tucked underneath, and that virtually makes a ground sheet inside as well. So 2 for 1 special offer on that. Yeah, you know, if you want to be covert, you know, you're running from the law, that type of stuff. You know, hey, we've all been there, we've all done it, like just we don't talk about it on cam. No, so what a really nice little shelter. Boom. You know, I'd be pack here, head here, legs going that way, and I'd come in from the way Mr. Baldrick's going in. He loves it, he's been in and out there. So it's not just about being covert, there's been a few times where I've been out and the wind's been atrocious. You won't want a big tall shelter, and this gives you adaptability. The ability to 3 different shelters, well 4 different shelters, all equally viable, and I can set it up. And all I need is 6 tent pegs, my ridge line which I've already got set up in my pocket, and a couple of tie-off I used last time when I wanted to make it baker tent style. Ladies and gents, here I'll give you the Mac Edition, Mac Type wood tarp. And Baldy, go in there, go in. You see how, well, you just see Mr. Baldrick walk past the entrance. Yes, it is, it's tight to the ground. I've crawled in there, it's well off your face, and your sleeping bag will be dry in there. And like I say, it's very long, certainly 3 metres, and with this it's nearly 4 metres. Just gives you the coverage. There was no way the rain was going to come in and get any part of you or your kit wet, ladies and gents. So there you go. I've got one more configuration I'd like to try. I won't do it on this occasion because I'm gasping for a brew now. But yeah, the Max Edition tarp. Like I say, I'll put some pictures or a bit of film in this just to finish it off. Don't want to make it too long. Where it's up high and the sides drop down vertically. It's like a tent with no ends. But I'm very happy with what I decided to do there with this bit at the end. I made good use of that material, and if I wanted to get in there and trick out with it, I've almost got a ground sheet in there as well. Wouldn't need to carry one because there's one there when I want to get down low to the dry. Anyway, ladies and gents, I'll leave it there. Let your eyes be your guide. Infantry, and I'll tell you what I will do, and I did say I'll do. I reckon I can modify your standard 3x3 tarp that anybody's got with a little bit of sewing up, and you'll be able to drop your sides vertically, have it higher or lower. Yeah, you won't have these bits, obviously I've made these bits. It's snowing, windy and sunny here at the same time. Obviously snow coming down. But yeah, I'm going to work on, I'm going to get 3x3 tarp. He loves it, he probably loves it, doesn't he? But again, he's in there, he's out of the rain, all the weather, it's starting to snow now. But yeah, if I'm going to
and I'll do a how-to film as well, ladies and gents, how you can get your tarps. Somebody with a little normal domestic sewing machine, you'd be able to make one of these out of a 3x3 tarp. Yeah, the only thing it won't have, unless you want to sew it on, is that bit of material. But I'll leave it there, ladies and gents. My little tarp. Yeah, and if you're making stuff, one, it's a lot cheaper, and two, boom, you just design it how you like. So I've got a lot of this. This is going to be me like the tarp that's always in my pack, always in my pack. Oh, next time I come over, I'll set it up over that bench to see how much coverage that will give us. It'll drop down vertically, come up. Oh, yeah, I'm on it. Anyway, ladies and gents, let your eyes be your guide. There's only one in the world. That's my tarp, and job done. And as we can see, ladies and gents, Mr. Baldrick's there. That tarp is very low to the ground and very discreet as it goes. I wouldn't say you couldn't see it, but that can blend in well, especially on English woodland, which is quite surprising because it's Belgium.